This is an Envoice Media podcast.
Lash artists do make money. It's not just like a side hustle type of thing.
Esthetician school is getting a degree, but you do learn about sanitation and they drill that into you, and that is important.
The lash industry is changing. I don't think it's dying on how a lot of people are saying it's dying.
How you treat people is how they're going to treat you. Nobody ever fails. Failing is giving up.
Yeah.
You know, so
failing is giving.
Don't look at yourself as, just keep going and just learn from it.
You're listening to Not Just Lashes. Here are your hosts, Shanique and Dixie.
Hello. Welcome to Not Just Lashes.
We are here today with Ashley.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
So let's get a little background about you. You've been with Glam Spa for 3 years?
Yes. So I've been with Glam Spa for 3 years. I recently finally went on rent.
Yay.
After 3 years.
So
It took me a
excited.
long time to get there.
Well, it's everybody's journey. It's whatever
yeah.
feels right and what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a long start to get to Glam Spa in the first place. I believe when I was 16, I started working at a Lash bar, and I was just front desk. It was...
I didn't even realize you were 16.
Yeah, I was a baby. I was their first employee. I got hired with 3 other people.
Oh.
And it was okay. I was just front desk, and I didn't know anything about lashes yet. I was just like, okay, like, this is cool. Like, just answer the phone. And then there was another worker there, and she was like, like, you would be such a good lash artist. And I was like, no, I wouldn't. Like, I don't have the patience for that. No, I would not be a good lash artist.
Sounds familiar.
And she's like, just try it. Like, just go to school, take a class, do it. And I was like, nah. So I worked there until probably I was like, once I turned 18, I was like, okay, I need to make money. I'm 18. Yeah. I don't want to go to college. I'm not a school person or anything like that. So I was like, okay, I'll do cosmetology, because I didn't know if I wanted to do hair, nails, makeup. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was so young. And then I go to cosmetology school, and I literally did not learn one thing. They showed me, like, how to do a haircut, and I think that's all I knew how to do. I didn't know anything about facials. I didn't know nails. I didn't know anything. Half of my whole thing was on Zoom. So
this was during COVID as well.
Yeah, so I believe I started 2 months after Kelly. And then
how are you supposed to learn a haircut if you're
doing
Zoom? That's hard.
I learned men's haircut and women's haircut on Zoom.
Wow.
On a doll head. And if I could just show you guys the photos, it was
Do you
hilarious.
have
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Please send
I
them.
want to see.
Yeah.
They're hilarious.
That's like my mannequin, practicing on that.
It was so bad. I got to the point where it was like, okay, just do like a regular fade. And I was like, okay, I just did the regular fade, and then it just kept getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And I was like, okay, he's bald now.
I know, right?
He looks like the original mannequin.
He's like,
I'm like, okay, hair is not my thing. So then I end up meeting Kelly in school, and she's like, oh, I'm here for nails and lashes. And I remember telling her, I'm like, why aren't you in cosmetology then? And she's like, well, because I just want to get done fast. And I was like, fast? I was like, what do you mean fast? So then I look it up, and esthetician get done way faster than cosmetologist.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
And I'm like, no. So I'm like, should I switch to esthetician? But during that time, remember, tinting eyelashes were illegal for estheticians.
Yeah.
You had to be a cosmetologist to do it.
Now it's reversed. Now hairstylists cannot tint the lashes.
Yeah.
Now it's only us.
Yeah, and we're in California, by the way, so like we have all these weird regulations.
Yeah,
when I was in school, I heard a story about. So I went to esthetician school, and my license can work anywhere because we're so strict in California the way you pass. But if you have a license from a different state, you might have. There was this guy who is a barber or something for years and years in. I want to say like Massachusetts. I don't know why, but he was from somewhere, and he had to go get his license, do all the hours again through school, even though he's been doing it forever. But because California had a different all these different restrictions and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've been hearing through other lash artists that Arizona is switching theirs to where you don't need a license at all to do lashes. And every time I saw Arizona switch something, California did it right after. So I'm hoping that people don't, like, they have to still have a license to do it, because then people are going to start going to bad lash artists. They're going to go to people that don't care. There's going to be so many issues.
Horror stories, I mean, it's your eyeballs.
You can't.
We already hear horror stories of like, you know, one client was telling me that she, like during the pandemic, went to somebody's garage and she had like animals and like cats and dogs like all over the place, and her eyes were itchy and stuff was falling from the ceiling, and she was like, I don't think I could do this anymore.
Yeah, you
know?
need to sanitize. You need to know all those kinds of things. Like, even though we like rag on school, you know, they don't teach you, but no school teaches you enough. I went to college, and it wasn't until I got like real life experience and put that to practice, or you know, yes, esthetician school is getting a degree, but you do learn about sanitation, and they drill that into you, and that is important.
All these things I've heard have been like changing, and people are saying, oh, the lash industry's dying, all this stuff. And I'm like, well, it's because all these rules are changing now. Like, you can't trust anyone to go, like, you can't trust a random lash artist now. Like, you're going to go for a referral, or you're going to go find someone on Instagram now. Like, the lash industry is changing. I don't think it's dying on how a lot of people are saying it's dying.
It's all about adapting to that, you know. Would you trust Botox or something like that? You know, like a lot of clients, they don't realize that you need a license and that you need to have it like showing. But smart clients and the ones you attract and the ones you want are going to do their research on you. They're going to be like, how long? Like it's so hard to first start out because no one wants to go to you and they're like, oh, she just started lashing a couple months ago. You know, and it's the same thing. So I feel like either way, you need your experience and you need to adapt to the environment. I love going to someone who, like a Botox person or something, like they're still in classes. They're always learning and improving and looking at the new stuff. And I feel like as lash artists, we still need to do that. You can't just stick with what you've been doing. And like we always say, like taking classes, new looks, different techniques.
Yeah. Everything's changing really fast. That's why I'm like, I had to master the wet set before it became like very popular. And once I saw a lot of people wanting the wet sets, I think it's mostly people are venturing towards more natural now than more of the huge sets. I don't know if it's like a hot girl summer type of thing.
It's like the I think it's like the whole clean girl aesthetic and also like old money aesthetic that's kind of been like coming about. It's like clean, you know, just like natural. But as a lash artist, you just have to adapt. Like even if they're not going to achieve that clean girl aesthetic with, you know, just mascara, or because if you don't have great lashes to begin with, you're going to need extensions to create that look. So as a lash artist, getting down those classics, or I dipped into like YYs and Ys because it still gives you a full effect, but not that huge, like it kind of still makes people guess if that's mascara or not. So it's just adapting as trends change.
And I love how you like try all the different types of curls and different styles, because like before I like took a client on for you and like just like covering for you, I didn't even know what a YY lash was. And well, then I'm like, wait.
Yeah, it's also because Shanique, like, that's what we're all about. Like, Shanique's like, I want to try this. I want it. Like, have you seen this? Have you like, and she'll send me things all the time, like over Instagram and stuff. Like, I wonder, wait, what is this going to look like? And,
and it's really cool because what I've noticed is a lot of lash bars, they don't do that type of stuff. They won't do wet sets. They won't do wispies. They won't do W's or Y's. And it's such a different type of look, and I think it's a beautiful look, and I'm just a very natural person as it is, to where I like as lash artists, like you have your thing, like I'm wet sets, Kelly's volume, your natural. And what I've noticed is that I'm sorry, I just lost what I was I'm so sorry.
We all have our
Yeah.
personal thing that
yeah,
we like.
we all have our own style.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what topic I was going into.
Well, how about I ask you this?
Okay.
Why do you think people are saying the lash industry is dying? Like, where is this coming from? Is this because of like, you know, the machine that they have now that's like,
I'm never going to stick my head in that.
no, I wouldn't. I mean,
So scary.
anybody who has like a phobia will not like that.
No.
Yeah, no.
Anybody like,
And that doesn't seem enjoyable.
It's
I could not
just-
relax.
no,
Yeah.
I don't know how
I'd be
loud
so
it is.
scared.
I would be
I'd be
terrified.
claustrophobic too.
Yeah. And volume clients, you know, will that work for volume? I don't know. I think I've seen it, but it's a very, very, very subtle look.
Yeah.
Even the classics look very subtle. So again, things are changing, but what can we do to evolve? You know, kind of like go with the times and kind of
Well, I think, you know, we've mentioned before, like magnetic lashes and like false lashes. Like, why would I go to get my lashes done when I could do it at home? I'm a lash artist, and when I do magnetic lashes, it still doesn't look right. It's not what I want. Like, there's only so many styles. Like, I have smaller eyes. I don't like when, like, even if you get the natural looking ones, to me they still don't look natural like how I want them. Like, they'll give you the eyeliner effect. I don't do eyeliner on the top. It doesn't look good on me. I don't like it. So that's always what's going to happen when I get magnetic lashes.
Yeah.
But do I like the ease of magnetic lashes, saying that, you know, once I put them on, they'll last a good amount of time? And so, well, yeah. So I think if I can go to a lash artist who can give me that look, like, we'll never die. It's just about the customization, you know?
yeah. And
I won't have to put them on myself. I won't have to deal with the glue, you know? I don't,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how people use those magnetic lashes because I on New Year's Eve I was like, I'm gonna go to a party but I have no lashes.
That's right.
And I'm allergic to lashes, so I can't. It has to be done a certain way, and it takes a long time for them to do it on me. So I just don't get them done. But
Well, Kelly does it for you sometimes.
yeah, but I realized I'm a really bad client.
Oh,
Why are lash artists always the worst clients?
because we talk, and it's like our catch-up time.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk to each
It
other.
really is, but I keep getting really off topic.
But yeah, magnetic lash, all of
They're
that.
hard to put on.
Hard to put on.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yes. So New Year's Eve, I was going to a party, and me and my boyfriend, we were getting ready, and I was like, I just want lashes, and he was like, oh well, didn't you just get these? And they were magnetic lashes, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, I'm gonna try them. So I go to the mirror and I put on. It's like it comes with a glue, but it smells like lash adhesive. Like, it's so strong, and I put it on, and right when I put it on, my eyes started burning, and I was like, oh my god, get it off. So I start getting like water, and I'm throwing water, and I look up in the mirror, and my natural lashes are glued to my skin on my eyelid. And it didn't come with remover or anything.
Really?
They don't. No, they don't.
You have
Once
to
I
buy
had-
it separately.
I did.
No, they want you to. There's a certain brand that wants you to buy it separately.
Well, I got like a whole kit, like that was supposed to be like, so you don't, like, pretty much the equivalent of.
Well, I wish I got that.
Well, she didn't. And
I
then
didn't
she
get that one.
calls me.
Yeah,
Texts me.
I called. I sent Shanique the most crazy photo of me, and I'm like, look, I don't know how do I get this off? Help me. And she's like, what is that?
I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know at that time that they sold it separately.
I'm like, they're magnetic, like, lashes that are supposed to last me a week. And she's like, what? And I'm like, she's like, did it come with remover? I'm like, let me look. I'm all looking for remover. I'm like, no. And she's like, okay, just
Which is
She's like,
crazy
"Just
that
wash 'em."
wouldn't come with like.
Yeah, like no oil, no remover, no anything. And I'm like looking it up, but it's so new. Like these things are so new. And like me as a lash artist, I'm like, how do I not even know how to get this off? Like,
Isn't it
how
crazy?
are girls
Yeah.
doing this?
Yeah.
And like I'll go on TikTok and I'll see the girls on TikTok and they're like, look how easy this is. And I'm like,
I know. And it's not that easy.
This
It's
is not easy.
No, I love the
Because
ads
we
that
did
are like
with
3
Kelly.
seconds.
yeah, like don't sponsor it like that,
No.
because if I can't do it within an hour, I don't know how you girls are doing it.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
So, and then what happened to your eyelashes? How did you remove it?
I ended up getting olive oil.
Good. Good old olive oil.
That's how I
the
got
trick.
it off.
You
But my lashes were completely
Green olive
like,
oil.
they were completely broken in half.
Yeah.
My natural lashes after that.
Oh.
And so I couldn't get extensions or a lash lift or anything
Yeah, I
after.
just had a.
And
So I
that's
was just
hard.
bald.
Yeah.
It's hard to be bald when you're a lash artist because
Yeah.
you're like, hi, I'm Ashley. I do your lashes. I'm going to be doing your eyelashes today. And they're like,
You
Yeah.
are?
I had a client be like, yeah, like I know when there's a good lash artist when they have great lash extensions on. And she looks at me and she goes, oh. And I go, oh. And she goes, I'm sure you're just as good.
oh my gosh.
I'm like, oh, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I'm just
You're like, I swear. Do you want to see a photo? Let me pull
Yeah, I do good work.
I'm like, I
I'm the
promise.
shoemaker without shoes. That's
I
all.
always
like,
say
just-
that.
Yeah,
I always say that. I'm like,
that's all.
it's
Yeah.
shoemaker who has
Well,
no
because
shoes.
like I mean, I saved my lash extensions because they're great for trips and vacation. Like because you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to bring it. You just wake up and go. And I'm lucky that I have nice lashes that I can just do lash lifts and mascara. But
yes.
it's so hard as a lash artist. Like if you see a lash, this is just a PSA. If you see a lash artist and her lashes are whack, it doesn't mean she's not good. She either is not going to someone that's good or she doesn't have time because she's so busy with all of her great clients.
It's so
Yes.
true.
So just take her having messed up lashes that she is so busy.
she doesn't have time
Yes.
for herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so be like, dang, everybody wants to go to her.
right.
So yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So next time someone looks at your lashes, you just tell them.
just say I'm so busy.
And then tell them that you did magnetics.
But okay,
Yeah,
so they ripped
magnetics.
out your own eyelashes.
Yes.
It didn't come with the glue. Kelly and I experienced that too, where we were trying it out, and it looked easy. Directions were easy. I swear, I spent like an hour trying to like get them on her eyelashes. And being a lash artist for 17 years, I couldn't even freaking do it. And I'm like, what am I doing? What am I missing? And then Kelly grabbed it and was like, let me do it. And then she grabs a mirror. You know, she could do everything herself. She's talented. And then she started sticking them on, but they didn't even last that long.
Yeah.
She's like, they already like fell out, and it did. Yeah. 4
Wow.
fell out. Or you only have 4 left. 4 left. So, and it pulled out her eyelashes.
Yeah.
So
They weren't comfy. They weren't, you
No.
know, they just like I got them to come get on, and I was like, there were like those, not individual, but like clumps up for the magnetic, and I was like, cool, like it worked at first, but then I put one on, and when I looked at the other side, I was like, ugh, that one doesn't like. So then I'm trying to take it off, and it was so painful. Like you have to use the remover, so I'm using the remover, but then even if I wash my eye and clean my eye, it wouldn't go on again, and then it just kept falling off, and like throughout the day, like while I was lashing with like it's like this like just.
But it's true, right? Like you gotta like map yourself out and balance it, because then once you remove it, that's it, kind of.
A lot of those are all one length though as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of
That's what I'm saying. It's not customizable and not you know.
and it just they look fake. They mostly like when you're looking up or like looking down, you can really notice it. And I mean, they're probably good for like a night out or like a 2-day vacation type of thing.
If you can
but
get 'em
they're-
on.
Yeah, but they're not gonna last you like
Get them on. But it's true though.
It is.
And I see some girls like customizing it, but it's almost like cutting your eyelash extensions. Or an artist like trimming them. It looks off. It looks so blunt.
Chopped, yeah.
That's it just doesn't flow.
Everything in the beauty industry is always evolving, and there's always a at home. Yeah. You know, there's always going to be that option, but it's never going to be actually getting them customized. And that's what you're paying for. You're paying for the customization, the easeability, the longevity. That's what you're paying for. So it's like I, the other day was, months ago, was like, I need to save money. I'm just going to do my own nails. So I got a whole gel kit and all that. And I got all this professional, I thought it was going to be great. Taking it off was so annoying. It took me hours. I'm like watching the fight, I don't even know. I was there, but watching people beat up. I'm like trying to get off this like stuff. I ended up like, I wasn't even drilling. I was filing my nails down to like the littlest, God. I was in pain. I couldn't even put anything on my nails. And so now I'm trying to sell the gel kit, and I'm like, it wasn't worth it. It was too much trouble. It was too much, And I've tried the magnetic lashes, and it's just at the end of the day, nothing beats
going
lash
in for
extensions.
A service. Yeah. Well, it's just like what we see like on TikTok and all that of like home lash lifts.
Oh yes.
Okay, which can go wrong too. I mean, it goes.
Also, it's just like the time it takes. Because I once was like, I don't like bothering people. Like you guys have your job. Like if you have a break, like take a break. But I tried once, and it's like, okay, you can only do one eye at a time.
I don't know how I see those TikToks of those girls and their eyes are wide open doing it, and I'm like, what in the world? How are their eyes
fake
not
news,
burning?
AI? I don't know. There's something like I don't believe it.
It's so weird.
What is it? It's so creepy because they're just like, like their eyes are completely open,
and they just take it off, and it's like so curled.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
their eyes like did not burn at all. But it amazes me when I have my young girls, when I'm lashing them, and they're like, hold on, let me just text someone really fast. And I'm like, no.
Their eyes open.
Keep your eyes closed. They're like, no, it doesn't burn. I'm okay. I'm like, well, no, keep them closed. And they're like arguing with me. Like, let me text someone. And I'm like, no.
Just chill for an hour. Like, just.
It's always my young girls. They always have to go on their phone.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's almost like, again, social media with those girls with the ginormous eyelashes, and when they do the big revealing, they open their eyes are so red.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that's the same effect when a client keeps looking at their phone or when they're texting.
You're gonna get a chemical burn.
Yeah, and we don't want that.
Exactly.
We don't want that.
No.
Like that's we have our rules.
I think it was
They're there for a
really
reason.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was really hard for me to train my clients at first. I think it was because I was so young and I had young clients. My clients were older than me. I had clients that were my age as well. And why do I keep losing track of what I'm saying?
So basically, I get what you're saying. I know what you mean. I'm reading your mind right now as we speak.
Yeah, she has that creepy superpower.
I do. It's called the mom's
What was I
superpower. So basically, you have young clients and you're young yourself, and sometimes it's hard for them to take you seriously and listen to you. If you're saying, don't open your eyes, don't do this, don't do that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It took me so long to train my clients. And that's why it also took me so long to go on rent, because I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like, how are Kelly and Dixie's clients so grateful and so like they'll stay quiet, and my clients are so rowdy, and it was young girls. And I didn't know how to train them properly because I was too scared to say like, let's take a nap or like, let's be quiet.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't want to, like, I didn't feel like I had a place to say something yet. And it took me such a long time. Like, I remember I actually worked at 2 lash bars. The first lash bar I worked at, I got fired within 3 days because I couldn't remember the script. And as a front desk lady,
They had a script?
Yes, you have to know
It
a
wasn't
script.
not written, or was this like on the phone or no?
No, so
like in person.
You go to your
they had
Should
it.
I write you one?
you go to your first first day of training, and they give you a 4-page script. And it tells you all about the lashes and the styles and all this stuff. And this was the first lash beauty industry thing I've ever worked in. It was my first day. I was 16. And they're like, you need to remember this word for word and come back tomorrow.
I would have failed.
And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, okay, I got this. And so I go back the next day and they're like, okay, let's go to the back room and I need you to tell me the script word for word. And I sit there and I'm like, I don't think I'm your girl.
Hey, honesty.
You're so cute.
I'm
Honesty, though.
I tried to remember it. I couldn't. I'm sorry. I'm not your girl. And they just let me go at that point. They were like, here's $20. Get out.
Oh my gosh. You're kidding me.
So and I was so mad at myself. Like, I was kicking myself in the butt. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I could have had it so good at this job. Like, but I ruined it and all this stuff. But honestly, by me getting mad at myself, it gave me more motivation to go and be like, I'm going to go to a new lash place and I'm going to be their front desk and I'm going to show that lash place that I'm good. And so that's when I went to the lash bar I worked at for four years, I believe.
That's a good mindset to have. You're like,
That's how I got through it all.
Yeah,
Was
I guess,
like, you tell me no and I'll show you.
yes, exactly. I'm very
that's
stubborn when it comes to
same.
things like that.
But it's a drive that I feel like entrepreneurs have, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a special thing, a little click that goes in our heads like, oh, really? You think I suck? Just wait.
Yeah.
I'm going to show them. I can't do that. I'm going to show them. I'm going to show them I can memorize a 4-page script.
Yeah.
But, you know,
that
like
just reminds me of when I was like learning lashes and I was like, Shanique, tell me I suck. I want the honest truth. Like, tell me so I can get better. I
Yeah.
was like, I know you're not being mean because you didn't want to be mean at first.
No.
You were like, well, maybe if I'm like, oh my gosh, please. Like, I don't want to go out there and be like embarrassed, you know?
And it's hard because, you know, I think I was telling you before, like I grew up in the Mean Girl era. Like if you guys seen the movie Mean Girls, just how it was back then. It was like, you know, in the 90s, it was like an eye for an eye. Oh, you're going to show me, I'll show you too.
Yeah.
You know, but now where was I going with that?
Just the motivation in your mindset.
Yes.
And yeah.
So the motivation, it does.
Yeah.
It gets you. It's a drive, you know, and not a lot of people have that.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people have that.
Just flipping your mindset.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, it's not, don't take it negative. Be like, okay, this is something I need to work on or get better at, or even, you know, you don't.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And that's what I
Definitely.
try to tell everybody, you know, who comes through Glam Spa is like, I want to make you guys better than me. You know, like I would look at Dixie's fans. I'm like, okay, I taught her, but oh my God, yay. Like she's better than me. I want the next person to be better than me.
Yeah.
You know, like it's
Yeah. I mean, giving out that energy
yes.
just comes back. I'm just very about that. Like the golden rule, you know,
Yeah.
how you treat people is how they're going to treat you. So if you're boosting your clients, yourself, that positive self-talk, you're going to get better. You're going to get there.
Yeah.
So how did you feel when you went to the second location?
Yeah.
You were there for 4 years.
Yes, and I remember I was so nervous to work there because I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna give me a script. I'm gonna have to remember this script again.
All these lash places with their
know.
scripts.
So I'm like, okay, I need to start studying lashes so I can remember these scripts.
Ah.
So I start studying YouTubes and all this stuff. I don't think TikTok was even out yet, but I was on YouTube and I was like, different types of lashes. Like, what do they do? Like, how do the placements and stuff like that? Because I'm like, clients are going to be asking me these questions when I'm the face of the salon.
Yeah.
And if I don't know it, I'm going to make the salon look terrible. And I'm like, but on the other hand, if it's scripted, it's going to seem automated.
Yeah,
like,
mechanical.
Like a robot. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to sound like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But luckily, the owner at this salon, I got hired on the spot, and she was like, I was like, are you going to give me a script? She's like, no. She's like, script? She's like, no, like, just be yourself. And she was like, you'll do your training, blah, blah, blah. And so I liked how when I did the training, I got to sit in and watch the lash artist train.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, so there was only 2 lash artists at the time, and then there was me as front desk. And so I just watched them do it. I worked there for 2 years, and then I was like, okay, I'm ready. Like, I want to do this. And the owner was like, okay, like, if you want to take days off, you can work 1 day a week, and I'll be completely fine with that. And I am very grateful for the owner at that salon, and she is the reason why I did become a lash artist. I wouldn't have become a lash artist if I never worked for her.
Right.
So I am very grateful for that. But there are, once you grow as a person, you're not going to stay in a lash bar business. But so
then, then you came to us. Is that after Lash Bar? Oh my goodness.
So after you did
it sound
started
like I
taking
farted?
like your first client, how did you feel?
so going back to the lash bar, once I went to school and I became a lash artist, I realized that it was going to be really hard for me to become a lash artist because I have health problems and I have a disease. And it's Graves' disease, hyperthyroid. And I know a lot of ladies are like, oh my God, how are you a lash artist? Like, don't touch me with that disease, like, blah, blah, blah. Because, yeah, you are shaky. You do get really bad tremors and stuff like that. But I found ways for it to work. I'm on medications that are like beta blockers so I won't be shaking. Yeah. And I was so determined to be a lash artist just because of that first lash bar. And I was like, nobody's going to tell me I can't be a lash artist. Like, this is just another obstacle. Like, I'm going to get past this obstacle.
Yeah.
And so that's why, like, with new lash artists that are coming in, I'm like, it doesn't matter, like, if you suck the first, even the first year
we
you're
all
doing
suck.
it.
We all suck.
Yeah, like,
It's hard. It's not
easy.
You're not
it's
just
not.
putting it on. Like, it's so much more complicated than that. And not
Yeah.
saying nobody can do it because it's so hard. Like, don't get intimidated that it's so hard. But
Yeah.
It's
And-
practice.
Practice.
Yeah, and I really think, like, a lot of girls start off and they're like, okay, I'm going to buy all the supplies, and they're really motivated at first.
Yeah.
And then they get to the point where they get on the doll head and they're like, I'm not going to do this. And then they don't even get to work on a real person. But the thing is, it's so different to work on a
is.
doll head and then have a real set of eyelashes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like, it's so different. To me, it was a lot easier doing it on an actual person.
Right.
Than
Because
a
the
doll.
lashes are not like stiff
Yeah.
and straight.
Exactly.
I don't
You
even
know, or
know if I
maybe-
did a doll head.
Really?
I think you just threw me in there. You're like, hey, like, try this person's daughter, like a longtime client.
We had the little eyes, the little square eyes. Okay.
No, I don't think I ever did. Yeah.
Wow.
And then
Sponges?
I did have sponges.
Okay.
I would practice my fans at home. I'd be watching like TV, like Law and Order or something. And I'd fan. And then, because I've seen every episode, I don't really need to pay that much attention. So that's in the background. And then I fan and glue it to a sponge. Fan, glue it. So I would just like keep them. Because I
Yeah,
was
that's right.
practicing the motion.
The fans,
it's like a athlete or something. You know, you practice the move over and over and over again so it becomes second nature. And that's what a lash artist is. It's not picked up easily. There are people that are talented and pick it up faster than others, but it's
But it's a workout. It's like your body has to get used to that workout. You know, your muscles moving and coordinating and your brain working with your hands, and like it's not easy.
No.
It's not.
Yeah, but I think what I'm trying to say is knowing that I came with all these obstacles. I got brought down as a 16-year-old by a lash bar business owner saying that I couldn't do it, that I wasn't going to make it in this business. And so I think a lot of young females think, no, it's okay, I'm not going to do it because I'm too young, or I'm too shaky, or I don't have the patience for it. When really, I was totally like, I don't have the patience for that or anything. But once I just sat there and kind of just started lashing, it became like a zen for me.
Yes.
Like, just like I had no anxiety, like everything was just like good. And with new lash artists, they'll tell me like I trained one of my friends back when I was in school, and she was like, I hate doing lashes. And I was like, no, you hate doing lashes because you're sitting in a cosmetology room with a bunch of yelling girls. You need to go in a quiet room.
Yeah.
And you need to just like get in your own headspace and just work. And she's like, okay. So she goes into like the esthetician room and she's like, okay, I'm getting it. Like, I'm getting it. And I'm like, you just need to concentrate and like be patient with yourself. Like, you're not, you have to give yourself confidence. And what Kelly always says is be your best friend.
Yeah.
So like you have to be your best friend. And with girls in the industry, like I just had a client today and she's in the industry. And she was like, I don't know how you do lashes. Like, I tried doing it. I took one class and the teacher told me that I should just leave. And I was like, the teacher told you should leave?
Oh my God.
And she was like, yeah. So I gave up. And I was like, no. And she was like, I really wish like I could do them, but I was so upset and so embarrassed because all the girls in the class were like getting it, but I
would never say that to anybody.
You're
because
a teacher. You're supposed to teach. Like,
Exactly.
you gave up on your student, like that.
And it's like, why?
like I would tell them to leave if they weren't in it. Like they were like, man, they'd be like,
She said,
I'd be like, get out of here. You're not serious about this. But like,
yeah, she couldn't make a fan. And that's when the teacher told her to leave because she couldn't make a fan.
so you,
And I guess all the other students were grasping it, but she wasn't able to grasp it. And she was like, I'm just going to refund you. You should leave.
Oh my God.
She was like, lashes aren't for you. So she just stuck with facials. And she's like,
oh, poor thing.
she was like, I would love to take a course from Shanique. And she was like, but I'm so scared of like,
She's scarred.
yeah. She's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to do it because I'm so scared that they're just going to make fun of me again. And that's where I'm like, that's why we have to be like each other's biggest supporters.
Yeah.
Because if we're not, then we're just going to bring down other women. And that's not what we want to do. We want to support. Like you started Glam Spa to bring other girls into the business and support them. And I wish like lash bars were like that, but they're just not.
No, they're focused on one thing. And
Yeah, speed. They just want you to get the fills done within the hour.
well, isn't it true that most lash bars are owned by someone who's not even an artist,
Yes.
a lash artist? So I mean,
Right.
that's hard. Like
You
because
can't-
How do they know that sometimes it might take a little like longer to do this set because they have so like
I think that's why people tend to be in and out of those places working, being an employees, because they don't have that I guess
don't
the
know what you're
owner
going through. Like they
kind
don't
of boosting
understand.
them up, and they don't have an understanding of it. And it's like, I don't know, owning a restaurant and you have no clue, like you've never been out to eat. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Well, it's
I don't
like
know.
when
It's the same thing. It's like,
Yeah.
how do you know?
And that's the difference too about like a teacher, like a class like that, and what we are trying to build as like a mentor. Because I know like both Shanique and I had mentors, and that was such a game changer. It was so helpful to have somebody able to, you could ask more questions. You weren't intimidated and you felt like they were supporting you.
Yeah.
And as trainers, you want your person to do well. Your student, like that's a reflection on you. Like I would be like, we're getting this. If you want it, if you're in, I'm in. Let's do this, you know?
Yeah. But what the whole lash bar thing, I was there for like 4 years as mostly front desk. Once I got in as being a lash artist, everything changed. Like I wasn't looked at nicely anymore. I was being judged by the owner because my work just wasn't good. And I had a lot of issues. I was trying to get my thyroid under condition.
And that's hard.
And she's like, well, I can't have you being slower than the girls because of your condition. And I was just like, I can't work here. It was tearing me apart to where I was like, I hate lashing.
Yeah.
And I would text Kelly because I got Kelly a job there as well at first. And I would text Kelly in the middle of the set and I'm like, I'm shaking so much. I'm so nervous. I'm not going to get this set done within the hour and a half. And she's like, babe, just do it. Like, you got it. You got it. And guess what? I did terrible work because of it. Like, I was just placing them. And I did
You're under
terrible
stress.
work.
You're like,
because
That
that's
doesn't
all.
set up a good environment
No.
for.
Yeah, so I think I really only lasted in the lash artist position there for 2 months, I believe. And I only worked 2 days a week. So I was that nervous, like going into work where I couldn't physically like do a map. I couldn't think straight because I'm like, just, oh my God, I have time, blah, blah, blah.
Time.
And so that's when I went on Indeed and I was like, okay, I need to find something that's better for me mentally because right now it's not it and I'm not making enough. I think I was making like $200 every other week. And that's actually how I thought lash artists made money. Like I didn't know it was like, I didn't know people rented and stuff. I thought it was all lash bars because that's all I saw at first.
Yeah.
And then I go on Indeed and I find Glam Spa by Shanique. And so I message her, I send over my resume. And I remember I was like really nervous to go to the interview.
So nervous.
I was so nervous because I'm like,
It's like, am I getting a
okay.
script again?
I thought I was like gonna get kidnapped because I was like, what is this? This isn't like a lash bar or anything. I've never heard of Glam Spa by Shanique. And I'm like, and it's like in an office building. Like I was so confused. And I remember I couldn't find our suite number. And so I'm like walking around the whole entire place. And I remember I'm texting Shanique. I'm like, I cannot find it. I cannot find it. And she's just not answering me. I'm like, what the heck? And so I walk in and I just hear Dixie and Shanique laughing. And I'm like, oh my God, where am I?
We're not picking up the phone. We're just
But no one was in the salon. You guys were waiting for me because it was my interview.
I know, but we were waiting for you.
Yeah.
We should have been a little more on it. Like,
But so I walk in and you guys are there and I'm like, oh, okay. And you interview me and you're talking about how much lash artists actually make. And I was like,
Yeah.
what? I was like, 50%? Really? And you were like, yeah. I was like, oh my God, yes. Like, that's amazing because I'm making $12 an hour right now, like at the lash bar. And that's when I realized, like, okay, lash artists do make money. It's not just like a side hustle type of thing.
Right.
It is an
yeah.
actual career and it is something to take seriously. And that's when I started getting more serious about it because at first I was like, it's just a hobby. Like I get paid $12 an hour. So
Right.
what?
yeah.
Right.
And then once I came into you, and then I remember I went up to Kelly and I was like, Kelly, you have
There's this
to work
magical
with me.
land.
I'm like, this place is amazing. Like, I made $800 this week. Like, oh my God, like you need to come. And she's like, okay, tell her about me. And I was like, I don't know if she needs another lash artist, but okay. So I told you and you were like, bring her in. I'm like, okay. And so I love how you were so open about it and just like, you're so welcoming into like bringing other girls into the business and you just want to help them grow.
Because
And-
there's always people to feed. Like,
yeah.
Always.
There's always clients.
There's
Yeah,
always clients.
Exactly. And it's sad when girls are just like, they don't have any motivation because they don't have a mentor or
Yeah.
they have a business owner that's not a part of like an esthetician. So I really think like finding you was the best thing that's ever happened in my career. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna
I
cry.
knew it. I knew it. She was going to cry. I knew it.
But yeah, it honestly was amazing finding Glam Spa.
Yeah.
Me going in,
Oh, you
I
were so
wasn't-
nervous.
I wasn't a good lash artist. I knew I wasn't a good lash artist yet because I just like came through that trauma of like rushing my
Well, I remember
sets.
you would get so anxious because you're like, I had the timing thing. You were like
Yes.
really like,
And I was like, are you going to micromanage me?
I was like, no.
Shanique's like, like
No.
on the whole other
And then
side
I
of the
saw
building. like-
Ashley like not when she started to get busier, like not eat. And I'm
Yeah.
like, can I get you anything? You need
Yeah.
to eat. And she's like, I'm allowed to? And I'm like, yes. And then I started just packing the snacks
She's like,
and
what
the
do you
juice.
want?
And
She's like, I'm going to go to Costco.
yeah, I'm like, I'll buy you anything. Like, eat.
I remember she would come in my room at least once a week. She's like, you want a smoothie? You want a smoothie? Yes, I do want a smoothie.
Like, actually. But yeah, no, it's, and I have to say, like, for all the baby estheticians out there, like, if you had one bad experience with an owner, with the manager, like, don't let that rule your life, or don't let that eat your mentality of success, because we need to turn that around and use it for the good. And when you use that for the good, you could plant those little seeds and give it to everybody else.
Exactly.
And that's the part that is the most rewarding. And that's what I got from one person, from two people when I was doing hair. And then I did have someone tell me, because I used to do like cut hair for runway shows, okay, and do updos and stuff. And I found out like I was pregnant, and I said, hey, I think I need to take a step back. I need to leave from that business part of doing shows. What do you think? And the woman looked me straight in the eyes and she goes, you leave, don't ever come back. Hollywood is never going to give you a second chance ever again. You're so stupid for leaving.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember turning around and not letting her see me cry, unlike you guys, but I just remember walking away going, okay, breathe in my car. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to show her. I was like, really just wait until I have this kid. I'm going to
Wait in 9 months. I will be back.
I'm going to turn this place around.
And you did it.
And I did. And she realized where I was. And she came back into my life 20 years later.
Oh, no.
And she did. She said, wow, like, I can't believe you succeeded. And I'm proud of you.
Good. Yeah,
And
you showed
I
her.
took those 2 words that she gave me, and I was like, okay, all right. And 2, it's like, now what? What's next? And I felt like learning, I learned from everybody.
Yeah.
I can never say I'm the queen of this. I'm the queen of lashes.
No.
I'm the, the one that started it all. No, because I could always learn more.
You learn from your clients. You learn from other people's experiences. You hear about like an instance with a client. Maybe it didn't happen to you, but you hear it and you are like, what would I do in that situation? Or, oh, that's really nice. Like, that's a great way to like do that, And so it can just any business point of view.
I honestly think by me becoming the lash artist where I am today is from all the experiences I did have and not giving up on it.
Yes.
So I've had experiences of ladies walking out on me because I was too young. And honestly, I left. It was the first day I worked at Glam Spa. I go into work and she's like,
Dixie went through that too.
yeah. And she's like, classic full set. I'm like, okay. The girl lays down right when I start to pat her and cleanse her lashes. She's like, how old are you? And I'm like, I believe I was 21 when I first started working for you, or 22. And she was like, oh, no. You're younger than my daughter. You are not going to touch me. And she got up, she left. And I remember I went to Shanique and I told her what happened. And then I went home and I cried. And I was like, I'm never going back. I am never going back there. And then Shanique texted me the next day. She's like, don't let that get to you. Like, keep your head up. Let's give you a fill. And I was like, okay. So I go in the next day. I do the fill. Looked great. I felt a lot more confident after that. And I think just those experiences that you get just thrown at you and they're just
so true.
It's a learning experience. And some people run from that.
Yeah.
But some people don't. And that's what, if you're a new lash artist, like, don't run from it. Just take it as a learning experience.
Exactly. Just
Don't
learn
take
from it.
like to the heart.
Oh,
Mistakes
for sure.
are lessons. Situations are. It's all just lessons.
Exactly,
I remember when I was a fresh baby hairstylist, super young, 19 years old, 20 years old, and men would like, how old are you? Oh my God. Like, you're too young. There's no way she's going to touch me.
Yeah.
And then like, it just kind of like built up this momentum until I met, all of you guys and opened up my business because I went through that too.
Yeah.
I started young. And, when people would say these things to any of you, I would be like, oh, hell no. You don't judge them by their age. Judge them by their talent.
Yeah.
They're talented and they're so
Exactly.
sweet. Like,
Yeah.
don't do that. That's not cool. Do you remember that time we did facials, Dixie? Was it facials or eyelashes? And I think it was Brooke, you, and I. We were all setting up for, I don't know, these 3 women. And, well, who's going to go to the owner? No, I don't want her. Like, they said that to, like, your face. Like, she's too young. There's no way. Oh, but she's even younger. No way. So who gets who? And I was like, you're going to go to her, you're going to go to me, and you're going to go to that one. So the 2 women who didn't want to go with the 2 young girls, they did.
Yeah,
I didn't let them have their way.
Like,
I was like, I will show you how amazing they are.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to let anybody continue to work here if they don't know if
yeah, like Shanique's always, your thing is always when a client has said that in the past, when you're getting people to grow and you're like, I wouldn't give them to you if I didn't think that.
if they couldn't handle it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you're fine,
Yeah.
And then you can always say, the owner was there like the whole time. Like, it's like if something were to happen, like she's in the
you know
other
what's
room.
so funny? Then the 2 older women came up to me and they go, wow. I am so sorry for
That's
even
my
saying.
young hands.
I'm so sorry for saying what I did. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, I get it, but
Yeah.
that's not what we're about.
Exactly.
That's not what we're about.
We want
And
to uplift people.
Yeah,
Not bring them down.
and
No,
it's all, the way you
yes.
talk to them too. Like, I have such a young face. I get carded all the time. I get my
kicked out of concerts.
yeah. You had to be 18 or older. I was 2 days from being 24. And there was no drinking, nothing. It was just you to take it. That's a whole nother story that we can share some other time. But yeah, so I always get intimidated because I always think people are gonna think, "Oh, you're so young."
Being so young, yeah.
Yeah, but then I start talking and conversate, and I have my spiel down when I have a new client or whoever, and I know what I'm talking about. I know it, and that's how you can get past it,
Past, like they don't see the age, right?
Yeah.
They
So they're
just
like,
know
oh,
how
she knows her
knowledgeable.
stuff. She knows what she's doing. Okay. But if I came in and I was like, oh, well, I think, I don't know, maybe if but you're confident, fake it till you make it. So many times I was faking it.
Yeah. Yep.
I've done this so many times.
That was our motto for so long.
Yeah.
Just fake it till you make it.
Yep.
Because again, entrepreneur mindset is just keep going. Keep going. You're not ready to do a high dive, just do it anyways. You won't know. Like, what can you improve on, right?
Yeah.
There's a quote. I don't know who it's by. Einstein. No, I don't know. But
Eugene?
It's by Eugene. That's how he made the mascara. But it's, nobody ever fails. Failing is giving up.
Yes.
So
Failing is giving
don't look
up.
at yourself as just keep going and just learn from it.
Yes.
Yeah. Or just, and two, did you ever like drive around like any lash bars or salons to kind of like get a feel for things? Or
What do you mean?
like when you decided like I need to leave this place?
Oh, well, when I decided that I needed to leave, I
Just jumped on Indeed.
Like I said, like I didn't even know there was a thing that you can be on rent. And
Yeah,
stuff
were you
like
just
that.
looking up like
I was
any
looking-
jobs for estheticians?
Yeah, I was just looking up like random things, and then I've never heard of the name like Glam Spa by Shanique, and that's why I was like, "What? Like, what is this?" I was so confused.
Who's Shanique? What does she look like?
I was like, "Okay, I'm
What's
just
a
gonna
Shanique?
go." And it's like, I honestly, I really, really didn't think I was gonna start working for you because I was like, it's an interview. I barely started lashing. I live 35 minutes away. I'm like, it's not going to work out. But I just loved her. Like, I just loved her energy. And I was like, oh my God, I need to work here. Like, I want to work here so bad. And I spoke to my mom about it. My mom was like, no, do it. Like, just do it.
Yay,
Jump for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. And I remember Shanique was like, okay, bring in a model. And I was like, okay. And during that time, I was still so nervous to lash in front of people and like the owners and stuff like that because of all the judgment I previously got. And to be honest with you, I wasn't a great lash artist then either. And I remember I was using Easy Fans at the time, and it was like Amazon, like Viva or some Baba or something like that. And I made the most squared fans ever. And Shanique was so nice about it. Shanique was like, honey, we just need a little point. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. And she was like, try these. And I remember you gave me a certain type of Easy Fan. And I was like, oh my God, these are amazing. And you were like, try this tweezer. And I was like, oh my God, like I got it. Like I finally can have like a small point now. And it really like, when you're a new lash artist, you're buying stuff on Amazon. Yeah. You're buying tweezers, lashes off Amazon, and that's all I use. And I use like Amazon glue as well. And I couldn't make a fan properly. It was really boxy, and I was buying like 0.20 classic lashes, like thinking that was the type of lashes because that's what Lash Bar uses. They use 0.18 and 0.20s. So that's what I was using. And I think that's why a lot of girls also can't succeed properly in lashes because they're not using the proper tools. They're not using the proper lashes.
It makes things so much more difficult. If you don't have, I mean, there's so much
And you can
detail.
injure yourself too. Like when you're pinching with a tweezer that's just not going to bloom out a fan, your wrist is going to hurt by the end of the day.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I was doing. I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, it's just not fanning out. It just keeps closing.
Yeah.
And then right when you gave me that J tweezer, I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, what do you know?
Like, well, now it works. And I'm like, now I know how to lash. And it's just that one thing that clicks and your whole mentality changes. You're like, oh my God, I got it. I can do it now.
That's how Amy felt the other day too.
Yeah.
Like she goes, I think it was Kelly who gave her, or you, somebody gave her the little hook separator.
The isolations.
It just clicked.
Yeah, but it's so funny because
It
it's
just
like
clicked with
you
one
don't know
tool.
until while you're training. It's really important while we're training, we tell them pick up different things, try different things.
It's so
because
important.
I use a different tool than Shanique, and you, and it's what works for you.
Yeah, like I don't know how you use those straight tweezers. I think from your toothpicks, maybe. I always get these straight tweezers.
Oh, do you use these?
The hook ones? Yeah.
I can't figure out how to use those.
The 45 degrees.
I'm always like,
do you
I can't.
use straight as well? Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how Shanique uses straight.
I don't know how.
I gotta find the video and show you guys. It's so funny.
I love it.
But every time I get straight tweezers, I'm like, here, I don't want these. So you really do have to find the tool that's like best for you. And everyone is so different when it comes to tools.
Yeah.
And like there's 90 degrees. I can't use a 90-degree one. Like the boot ones, there's no way I can use
Oh, I can't use this, like the...
Yeah, so I give all my 90 degrees to Kelly. I'm like, I don't want these.
Everybody's got their thing.
Yeah, everybody does. I'm so glad you came on.
Yes,
Thank you for having
I'm so glad you came into my life.
Yeah, I was about to say thanks for coming into Glam Spa
Yeah. Like what an amazing...
and
like,
trusting the process.
And that's it. It's trusting the process. And just,
I love how you were very motivational the whole time. Like every time I would be like down about something, and we lashed next to each other for a long time.
Yes.
And every time we would just like talk, we would have fun. Even our clients would be talking, like having fun.
I know.
And so it's a very positive environment rather than a negative environment.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone needs to know coming into the beauty industry. You have to find your place that you want to be at.
Definitely.
You can't resent where you work. You
No.
have to love where you work.
Yeah.
And like people are like, oh, well, you can just it's just work. Like just handle it. Like if you don't like someone, you don't like someone. But really, like us, we all work as a team.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard if somebody doesn't like each other.
Oh, so hard.
So I think it is, you have to find the right place for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I found Glam Spa. Yay. Because it is a very positive environment. And I love how you guys are very hands-on with everyone and not just business owner, like out of the salon type of thing. So I love how you're like very in the salon, hands-on. So yeah, I love how I'm
glad.
very thankful for you guys.
Well, thank you.
So glad. Like, you know, it's so funny. I do get separation anxiety when you guys leave out of my room. I'm like, Ash, oh, she's not there. Like, who's next? It's a big room, you know? Like,
Yeah, it is a big room.
Always needing babies. Is that not wrong?
I am obsessed. Yes, I'm obsessed with. All right, I guess that wraps it up for this, mama.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Yes.
Follow, subscribe, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube at Not Just Lashes.
Bye.
Bye.